Hey Coven, welcome back to The Explainer. I'm Guinevere Atlas. So if you hung out with us for part 1, you already know the deal. Fiction genres, yeah, they're basically just different outfits for our own emotional chaos. Today we are back for part 2, the genres we haven't roasted yet. Because let's be real, you actually thought we were done, didn't you? Oh, we are not done. Zero chill today, guys. We've got 6 more emotionally unhinged genres to lovingly roast as we continue this little field guide of ours. Having way too many feelings about books is exactly why we're all here, right? So go ahead, settle into your sanctuary, grab that iced coffee, and let's just get straight into it. But first, take a quick, deep breath with me. Just a little celestial palate cleanser before we dive headfirst into our very first emotional trope of the day. Okay, first up, Paranormal Romance, the ultimate comfort origin story. For so many of us, this is the comfort genre. I mean, it's literally my origin story as both a reader and a writer. And look, before we even attempt to roast it, we just need to acknowledge a universal truth here. Half of our Wattpad fanfiction lived right in this genre. It's a fact. We all know it, and honestly, nobody in this coven is ashamed. Paranormal Romance is essentially this giant flashing neon invitation to just insert your name and your entire personality into the narrative. Because let's be real, you are the protagonist, whether you want to admit it out loud or not. And we really need to talk about the Bella Swan reality, but specifically the books. The reality of Book Bella is just so dramatically different from the movies where she kind of got flattened out. We get why Hollywood does that, sure, but in the books, oh man, we are talking heavy inner monologue, intense anxiety spirals, sharp sarcasm, and just these deeply unapologetic opinions. We have to passionately defend Book Bella because she was essentially a mirror for our own neurodivergent, anxious personalities. She wasn't boring at all. She was us. We love you, Bella. We really, really do. All right, let's take another quick celestial break. Take a breath, cleanse the palate, and shake off all that paranormal projection, because we are moving straight into a completely different flavor of longing. 2 words for you: Jamie Fraser. Historical romance is the absolute ultimate escape, specifically tailored for the dark academia girlies who took one look at modern dating culture and collectively just said, absolutely not. This genre taught us about genuine honor. It taught us what courtship actually looked like back in the day, when the stakes felt entirely different. This genre completely wrecks us because of the stark contrast. On one hand, you've got intentional pursuit. We read these books and learn that handwritten letters, immense patience, fierce honor, and actually showing up consistently, that was something deeply worth wanting. And then, we close the book and I have to return to the devastating reality of modern dating. Endless situationships, texting anxiety, talking stages that literally go nowhere. Historical romance gives us this incredible sense of safety and intentionality that we are desperately lacking in real life. It's basically us looking at how people used to pursue each other and saying, yeah, we would like that back, please, and thank you. Whew. We legitimately need a moment of silence to recover from the emotional damage of modern dating before we move on to some more grounded realities. Okay, let's transition over to the new adult reality. This is my romance bestie, and it genuinely makes us want to try college all over again, which is honestly wild. But the reality of it in these books is actually so stressed out. You're paying your own bills, you're trying to manage 2, maybe 3 roommates in some tiny apartment, you've got a work-study shift starting in exactly 1 hour. You're constantly debating this impossible triangle of survival. Do I need the gym? Do I desperately need more coffee? Or do I somehow go to that open mic night? So the crucial point here is how the fantasy just sneaks right into all that utter exhaustion. Because right when you are at your absolute limit, running on maybe 3 hours of sleep and pure caffeine, the quintessential new adult fantasy happens. You lock eyes with someone across the library. And this person, they're secretly getting straight A's on the DL. They would absolutely give you a run for your money for valedictorian. And somehow, they have your number now and you don't even know how that happened. That's new adult. That is the whole beautiful, frantic, totally exhausted genre. Let's take a really deep breath for this next transition. We are shifting away from the chaotic college library and settling into some much heavier, real-world stakes. Okay, real talk about military romance for a second. If you are hypersensitive, and I know so many of us in the Coven are, please gently build in emotional breaks when you explore this genre. Because military romance stems from profound real-world stakes. It deals with real grief, crushing loss, PTSD, and the literally unbearable weight of survivor guilt. These are things that just hit so much differently than your standard romance angst. It is incredibly hard to navigate emotionally. But when it is executed correctly, wow. It is incredibly moving. We get a man who has seen real darkness and chooses softness anyway. And that creates genuinely one of the most tender, emotionally intelligent hero archetypes in all of fiction. It's a gorgeous exploration of healing, but you absolutely must take your breaks when you read it. I really, really mean it. Let's take a much-needed celestial pause right here just to honor those heavy emotional beats. Let that settle before we enter our complex puzzle genres. All right, let's dive into my personal favorite, Gothic fiction. It is everything and nothing at once. And I say that with my whole heart because this is my genre. It is my whole world. If you ask me to explain it simply, I can't. That is the entire point. It is a completely uncategorizable rabbit hole. It's horror, but not quite. It's romance, but not quite. Literary fiction, philosophy, it all blurs beautifully together into this velvet-bound, midnight aesthetic that completely consumes you. So consider this a very warm warning to the coven. Once you pull the Gothic fiction thread, it changes you forever. You will not come back the same person. Suddenly, it's 3 a.m., you are taking frantic notes on an inherited secret in some haunted manor, engaging in intense midnight hyperfixations, and you don't even know how you got there. You enter Gothic fiction completely at your own risk. Let's provide one last moment of Stardust serenity before we tackle the absolute structural nightmare of our final genre today. Thriller romance. The ultimate clash. I have immense, literally boundless respect for authors who can successfully write thriller romance, because fundamentally, these two genres actively fight each other. If you write this well, you are the absolute greatest of all time, and I want to be your mentee. Let's break down exactly why this is so remarkably hard. Step 1. Romance demands emotional transparency to build deep trust and connection. But step 2, a thriller strictly needs information to be withheld to maintain its gripping tension. These are completely opposing structural needs. Making these two things coexist without one entirely destroying the other is absolutely the hardest fictional balance to execute. So the crucial takeaway here is that if you are reading a thriller romance and the mystery is completely airtight and the chemistry is actually real and nothing feels forced, put that author in a museum. They truly deserve to be studied. It is just an unparalleled masterclass in fiction architecture. Okay, Coven, that wraps up part 2 of our genre explainer. 6 more genres, all of them completely unhinged, all of them deeply beloved by us. But before we go, I really want you to think about this. Whether we are projecting onto a vampire, yearning for an 18th century Highlander, or trying to secretly solve a murder while falling in love, the fiction we choose is really just a roadmap to the things we crave most in the real world. We read to find exactly what we're missing. So drop down in the comments, which genre from part 2 is your most unhinged? And did I miss one that you desperately want roasted in part 3? I'm Guinevere Atlas, and I'll see you in the next explainer.